So Goldman sort of explaining that Archer qualified the topics of discussion on these phone calls as niceties that Biden sometimes didn't even know who was on the other line with his son Hunter. And, sources in the room telling CNN now that Archer did not point the finger directly at any sort of a connection between Joe Biden and his son's foreign business dealings, and rather, said that Hunter Biden was selling the illusion of said access. Boris?
Really a stunning development, Zach, when you consider that Republicans were selling this as a breakthrough that would link Hunter's business dealings with his father. Instead, business was apparently never discussed, according to Devon Archer. Zach Cohen, thanks so much for the reporting. Brianna?
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We have to talk about the mainstream liberal media, who for once is actually doing a decent job of journalism, because apparently the transcripts that have been released from the Devon Archer testimony to Congress, it's such a bombshell that, again, even CBS News is like, well, damn, we can't even deny that there's some sketchy stuff going on here. Now, I read the transcripts this morning when I woke up, when I saw news that they were released. And one of the first things that I noticed, but I haven't got around to making a video about it, and good thing I didn't, because this is going to be a much better video than I would have made had I not had this footage right here from CBS News, which is that the narrative that Devon Archer said that Hunter Biden was selling the illusion of access to his dad is actually a lie that was concocted by Democrat Dan Goldman, who basically has become Adam Schiff, right, when it comes to this specific subject of the Biden crime family, right? Adam Schiff, how he lied so much about the Russia collusion hoax in order to cover for Democrats and to go out to Trump. Yeah, Dan Goldman is the new Adam Schiff, right? The dude just lies, right? Okay, anything that's come out of his mouth is basically a lie, okay? And, the Democrats, the new narrative that they're pushing is that, well, Devon Archer said that he never heard, Hunter Biden discuss his business deals with Joe. But clearly, for anybody with two brain cells to rub together, understands that Devon Archer, because he was a part of this, the Biden crime family, he can't just come out here and directly say that he heard it, right? Basically, knowingly participating in the crime, but he's given a strong wink and a nod, okay, to the fact that Joe Biden and Hunter Biden were selling influence through Hunter Biden's business deals with foreign entities. And in the case of Ukraine and Burisma, Joe Biden was threatening to withhold taxpayer money, leveraging taxpayer money in exchange for a payment to the Bidens, right? And Joe would get rid of a corrupt prosecutor that was investigating Burisma. Now, Dan Goldman came out here and said that actually did not benefit Burisma. That's not what Burisma wanted.
And Devon Archer, the witness today, said that Burisma, on whose board he sat with Hunter Biden, did not want that prosecutor general fired because he was, quote, under their control, unquote. So the only official action here that is at issue actually went counter to what Hunter Biden's business interests might be.
Which is a lie, right? And I'm actually going to show you guys it's a lie because, again, I read the transcript. And again, this guy, Dan Goldman, should probably be censured for straight up lying, right, about what happened in this closed door testimony, because the person who actually made that quote that the prosecutor getting fired would be bad for Burisma is actually not Devon Archer. Dan Goldman said that, but he went to the media and misrepresented it when Devon Archer actually confirmed that, no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I'm saying, right? And as you guys can see right here, I've highlighted in the transcript, Devon Archer clarifying, okay, this point, this idea that Burisma felt that Joe Biden firing the prosecutor was bad for Burisma and not good. Which, again, the Democrats have pushed this idea, well, Joe Biden firing the prosecutor was actually bad for Burisma. Burisma didn't want that. The executives didn't want that. They're using that as proof to say, well, Joe Biden wasn't involved in the bribery scheme that was outlined by the FBI for him, right? But during the interview, Devon Archer is literally going to clarify that no. The Burisma executives, they never informed me that they felt like firing the prosecutor was a bad thing for them. It's literally right here. Dan Goldman, or the Democrat, whoever's asked this question, I believe it's Dan Goldman. He says, but it was bad for Burisma. That was the perception at Burisma because they had Shokin under their control. Again, he's talking about Joe Biden firing or removing Shokin as a part of, some broad international anti-corruption effort in Ukraine, because again, Democrats are trying to paint the picture that Joe Biden didn't fire the guy for personal gain. He fired the guy because it was U.S. policy and that the whole world wanted him fired, right? Okay, there's a lot to this that, I just don't have time to read. So I'm trying to summarize this as quickly as I can. Devon Archer's direct response to this question is no. Burisma never informed me of that. I just was that what was I told that it was bad for Burisma, but I don't know. I don't know if it was good or bad. Mr. Schwartz says told by the DC team. Mr. Archer says, yeah, by the DC team. Yeah, so here you have it, guys. Devon Archer is basically saying, no, Burisma executives never told me that having that prosecutor fired was bad for them, okay? I was actually just told that by the DC team, okay? Which, again, Dan Goldman went on liberal media and basically tried to say that the guy, quote unquote, said that Burisma felt that the firing was actually good for them. Okay, I mean, he's straight up misrepresenting what was actually said in the interview, right? And Devon Archer, multiple times in this interview, specifically stated that Burisma didn't tell me that. The DC team told me that, right? That was the narrative that was given to me by the DC team, that Shokin being fired was a bad thing for Burisma, okay? He told Dan Goldman this multiple times, that the DC team told him this, not the executives at Burisma. But Dan Goldman just went on TV and just flat out lied. And I want to show you guys this video that I stumbled across. Now, disclaimer here, I'm not sure if this is real. I just stumbled across this, okay? So it could be fake, okay? But I think it's real. And if somebody wants to independently verify, but I think it's just too good not to show, right? Is actually Victor Shokin himself doing an interview, basically debunking the claims from the mainstream liberal media that, well, when Biden went over there to have him fired, that the investigation into Burisma was dormant, right? That, oh, there was no actual investigation going on or whatever. No, Shokin actually pushes back against that, and he actually goes on to say that he personally believes that Biden had him removed for his own personal benefit, not on behalf of the American people. Again, I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is real. I'm just showing you guys because I stumbled across it. Take a look.
То, что пытаются преподнести как спящим, на самом деле это неправда. Я прекрасно понимаю, что США располагают, наверное, одной из самых сильных разведок в мире. И, естественно, за процессом расследования Буризмы очень внимательно смотрели не только легальным путем, но и нелегальным путем. Видимо, господину Байдену доложили, что мы подходим к тому моменту, что начнутся допросы его сына и остальных лиц, Арчера, ну и других лиц, которые причастны к этой ситуации по делу Буризма. И они понимали, прекрасно понимали, что это может закончиться довольно для них плачевно. Я никого не обвиняю, повторяю, потому что у нас есть презумпция невиновности в Украине, но я практически уверен, что Байден прекрасно понимал, что я намеков о прекращении дела Буризмы не воспринял. Я шел дальше, я и мои коллеги, и мы дойдем до логического завершения этой ситуации. Понимая это, Байден прилагал все усилия кулуарно, используя своих, так сказать, людей, в том числе и некоторых нардепов, в том числе Лещенко, Наема, другие были люди, а также активистов так называемых. Вот через них он и действовал, чтобы ни в коем случае не показать свою заинтересованность в деле Буризма, личную заинтересованность. Я всегда четко отделяю господина Байдена от всей Америки, от американского народа. Потому что в данном случае Байден представлял интересы свои личные и своей семьи, а не интересы американского народа. Вот такая причина, на мой взгляд. Хочу уточнить, что в отношении Хантера Байдена уголовное дело не было возбуждено. дело было возбуждено в отношении и по фактам нарушения закона фирмой «Буризма».
So that brings me to this video right here from CBS News, who's also doing some journalism, right? Some red journalism, where they're going to call out Dan Goldman for basically lying about attributing a quote to Devon Archer that Biden or that Hunter Biden was selling the illusion of access to Joe, when Devon Archer never said that either, right? Again, this guy, Dan Goldman, should probably be censured at the very least, maybe even removed for the lies that this man told. He's basically flat out attributing direct quotes to Devon Archer that he never said, okay, if you actually read the transcript.
Of the House Oversight Committee's interview with Hunter Biden's business associate, Devon Archer, were released this morning. The committee questioned Archer Monday to gain insight into the Biden family's business dealings. CBS News senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge is following this story for us from Washington. I bet you this, well, I'm thinking this was interesting reading, Catherine. There's a lot of speculation about what this individual would say. And also, you know, isn't he sort of due to turn himself into jail? He's got his own legal issues to deal with. Yes, thank you very much. So, Catherine, what do the transcripts tell us?
Well, first off, Emery, I would say that it's several hundred pages in length, and I'm still reviewing those pages this morning. Devon Archer is scheduled to go to federal prison, but I would remind people that this deposition was essentially under oath, and if he misled Congress, that would leave him open to prosecution for criminal perjury. One of the headlines I've seen so far is that Devon Archer did tell congressional investigators that he felt that this was about the Biden brand, and he testified in his view that Joe Biden brought the most value to this brand. And he also testified about these speakerphone calls where Hunter Biden would put his father on speaker when he was with business associates. He did not see them discussing business transactions.
Which he can't do, by the way, right? He just can't come out here and be like, oh, yeah, I definitely heard Joe Biden and Hunter Biden discussing business transactions. Again, that would be him admitting that, yeah, I knew, right? I openly participated in selling out the United States, okay, with Hunter Biden and his father, okay? I mean, again, so you got to understand the context of everything that's being said here and why he's saying the things that he's saying. He's giving a wink and a nod to it, right? Okay, he wants people to piece things together, use some context clues in regards to what he's actually really saying here. Again, multiple times in this interview, Devon Archer clarified that I personally thought that Shokin being fired was beneficial because without the brand, right, the Biden brand, aka Joe Biden, they would have went on there, right? But again, Dan Goldman came out here and misrepresented what the guy said, even though he clearly stated that, yeah, I personally felt like, and he was on the board, Devon Archer was on the board, I personally felt like Burisma benefited from Shokin being fired. Again, it's shameful. It really is shameful what Dan Goldman did.
Business transactions, but he said this was part of a pattern of sending signals about the family's influence and also issues of access.
Facts.
Why are Democrats and Republicans disagreeing on the context of the transcripts?
Because Democrats are trying to spin a narrative that, oh, Biden didn't fire Shokin for personal reasons. He did it because the world wanted him to do it, right? And that it was actually not beneficial for Burisma to have that guy fired, right? See, proof and evidence, right? That Joe Biden was not making foreign policy decisions based off personal business deals that his son was making, when it is clear and obvious that's exactly what the man was doing. And Biden should be impeached and removed from office.
Well, earlier this week, we just had to rely on the characterization from Republicans and Democrats about Devon Archer's testimony, but now we can see the full transcript. You'll recall that Democrat Congressman Dan Goldman said that Archer testified that it was the illusion of access to Joe Biden that Hunter Biden was offering to these clients. But in fact, when you look at the transcript, what you see is that that phrase, illusion of access, is in Dan Goldman's question.
Facts, right? Facts. Again, rare journalism here from CBS News. Just like I told you guys, that quote that he attributed to Devon Archer said that firing the Burisma executives felt like firing Shokin was actually not good for them did not come from Devon Archer. That came from him, right? That came from the line of questioning. Devon Archer never actually said that. Again, this guy is a snake. He's such a snake that even CBS News, the liberal media, is like, yo, this dude lied. This dude straight up lied about what was said in the interview.
It's actually not what Devon Archer testified to. He says, yes, but that's not quite fair. This was about showing that there was the signal that there's influence and access here. And Archer goes on to say,
AKA, it's not an illusion, right? It's not an illusion. It's a real thing. It's about Hunter Biden showing that, look, I can get my daddy on the phone and we can make things happen. Not an illusion. It's about real access. Not an illusion of access, real access. Again, Dan Goldman should be censured. He should be punished. He should be removed from his committee assignments. I'm so serious. Maybe he should be kicked out of Congress.
Say that there were business meetings that Joe Biden attended, or business meetings, rather, meals with business associates. And what he also said is that after at least one of those meals, money was wired to Hunter Biden that he believed had paid for one of his sports cars. So there's a lot here, in addition to these emails as well.
I find it interesting that the transcripts were released. I mean, is this everything that he said? Because often we don't get everything; we get bits and pieces. Oh, you know, what's the significance of having sort of the entire transcript available?
I think you've keyed in on something really important, Anne-Marie, which is that it's not so usual to have a full transcript release, especially this quickly, because it has to go through a formal review process, which involves having the person who testified review it a final time, offer any clarifications and input, and then essentially sign off on it. So that's happened in very short order. I asked one of the Republican aides on that committee, because it's a Republican-controlled investigation, why they moved so quickly to release all of the transcript, and they felt the Democrats' characterization was unfounded. So the great thing now is that we can independently review this transcript and reach our own conclusions about what Devon Archer alleged about these Biden family businesses, and whether the records also, these emails, back it up sufficiently.
Yeah. Again, rare moment of journalism here for CBS News. I looked into the transcripts. I read them. Right? This guy, Dan Goldman, is a liar. Democrats just lie. Okay? They will lie to you with a straight face because they believe that you're dumb. You're not going to look into it. You're not going to read it. So I'm going to come out here and lie. And I'm going to attribute quotes to Devon Archer that he never said. Quotes that he said. Right? Nah, Devon Archer said it. When Dan Goldman made it up, he was saying it. And then turn around and attribute it to Devon Archer. That's some slimy-ish. This guy is a sleazeball of the highest degree. Okay? This man lied about the congressional testimony of Devon Archer, took advantage of the fact that it was behind closed doors and didn't think he wouldn't be called out about it. Again, if the whole liberal media should be calling out Dan Goldman if they was doing their jobs. Again, this guy should be removed. This is unacceptable. This guy flat out just misrepresented and lied about what Devon Archer said to Congress. It's a shame. It really is. Yeah. Meanwhile, the mainstream liberal media, they're more focused on Trump, right? And what's going on with that when they should be focused on this, okay? Like real corruption. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.